Hey guys, another video. Here's my slash played. 2 days, 1 hour, 42 minutes, and died 18 times. Level 95. And let me show you the things I changed, and then I'll play like a map, and then I'll show you how to search for jewels, because that might take a little bit of explaining. And hopefully with that you can learn how to search for jewels in your future characters, even if you don't play this one. Okay, so my gear is like exactly the same. The only thing I switched was my skill tree because I leveled up enough to get enough points. I guess I just switched this basalt flask from, I put it to a reduced charge use because I think that's better. Even charge recovery is really good. So I used to have a plus 20, I just don't think it was good. Plus 20 flash charge is not as good as reduced flash charge use, so I still have to switch this one as well to a reduced flash charge use because that this reduced flash charge use on belt is multiplicative with all this stuff, so yeah, get that, that's the best. So what I did on the skill tree was I used to have it spec'd in here and here for ES, but then I got a level, so I went the claw nose for damage. Now this boosts your tooltip quite a bit. I have 45k, and with golem it's 48k. Used to be 41k, but it's not actual damage because of the assassin critical strike multiplier. I guess what happens is you always crit, so even if you boost your critical strike chance with this claw node stuff, it's not exactly always boosting your damage when you're killing trash mobs. But on bosses, it will be like pretty accurate if you boost the deeps of your skill. So what's important is, I have 500 multi in town, and my top end fizz is like 7682. So those are the important numbers because that's what multiplies in the end for trash mobs. But anyways, I did this anyways because the deeps is too good to pass up on bosses, and I lose like 300 ES, which is for me like 3% or something like that, so it's worth it. Gaining like 20% damage for 3% on 20% damage on bosses for that. So that's why I did that. So let me just show you a map. Most of today I actually played yellow maps. I guess I should just show you the maps I played today, and I'll run this kind of map. So the maps I played today were like chateaus, gorges, plateaus, 77s, 76s. I just alked and go. I didn't even like chisel or nothing. So maybe tomorrow I'll play like 78s or even red maps. But I'll just show you a red map here. It doesn't really matter. No regen's kind of annoying, so be a little careful if you're engaging a very sticky situation and you don't have regen. You don't want to like be autoing the monster when you know you're gonna get hit for a lot of damage. So be careful of that. So what I'm going to show you after this map is I'll show you how to search for jewels. Speaking of jewels, so what happens is when you're doing a build, what you want to do is you want to get like ideally 4 modules, jewels with 4 damages or 4 useful modifiers on them, because the maximum amount of modifiers a jewel can roll is 2 prefixes and 2 suffixes. So I'll give like a introductory explanation of jewels. So in general, not just for varunastra. So the way it works is jewels, 2 prefixes, 2 suffixes, but it doesn't end there. What's more interesting is the way they order the prefixes and suffixes. They group all the suffixes as the more general mods. So things such as spell damage or increased damage and attack speed or attack and cast speed, things that are not really specific, they put into suffixes as jewels. So you'll see all the less specific modifiers as jewels. And what that means is the less specific modifiers, the ones that are more general, they apply to a broader spectrum of characters, and because of that they give less of a stat benefit. So if you notice, like the attack speed on the daggers rolls from 6 to 8, and that's a prefix. It's a more specific modifier because it affects only daggers, so they put that as a prefix and it give it a roll of 6 to 8. But if you look at for example, attack and cast speed, I think it rolls 2 to 4 because it is more general, and it gives cast speed as well. And if you look at like just attack speed as the suffix mod, it will roll 3 to 5 attack speed. So as you can see, stuff like daggers is very specific. It's only like one type of weapon as compared to the general attack speed modifier, which applies to everything, and it will give the dagger one will give a more of a boost, and it will be a prefix. So all the valuable high stat rolls are going to be prefixes in general. In the same way, I'll give you another example. The crit multi rolls for specific stuff like fire or ice, cold or lightning, those will all also be in a prefix. And on top of that, consequently, since they're more specific, they will give higher rolls than the general crit multi, which is, for example, global crit multi. I think it rolls like somewhere between like 3 less crit multi than a specific one. So that's basically the rundown of jewels. The more specific it gets, the better stats you're going to get. For example, even like things that are still prefix based, and like if you go attack speed with shields and compare it to attack speed with daggers, attack speed with shield is more general, and they're both prefixes, but attack speed with shield rolls from 6 to 8, from 4 to 6, and a daggers it rolls 6 to 8. So basically what I'm trying to tell you is the more general the mod is, the more the less of a benefit you will get from it, and the more specific a mod is, then the more benefit you'll get from the jewel. So what this means is what you want to do when you search for jewels, I'll show you now. Not like a terrible jewel, but I'll show you now right now how to search for it so you guys can figure out the process. So that's the like theory behind the jewels. So the prefixes are the powerful mods, and the suffixes are the more general mods. They're not necessarily more powerful, they're just more specific, and therefore give you less of a stat benefit. So let me show you how to search for jewels in general on your character. So what you want to do is you want to go to the jewel PoE wiki, just Google or whatever, and let me full screen this so you can see. So as I can show you, crit multi with cold 15 to 18, and you scroll all the way down. The global multi is 9 to 12, so that's quite a bit less. 9 to 12 versus 15 to 18. That's 6 global multi less, quite a bit. So what you want to do when you search for a jewel is you want to go to PoE trade, and there's a couple ways to do it, but let me show you the way I do it. What basically you need to do is you need to search for all the mods and put them in here, and then you need to do a count to specify how many mods you want. So for varunastra, you just go down the list right here. You're like, okay, I want attack speed with one-hand melee weapons. So you go attack speed with one-hand melee weapons, you put that in, and then if you're Crown of Eyes, you want spell damage while holding a shield. And then you just go down the list one by one, attacks with maces. So as you can see, all the varunastra can use all the weapon types because it counts as all the weapon types. That's the unique property of the thing. So you put physical damage with maces. Now this is going to take a while, but this is what you do for like any build that you want. I already have a I already have one prepared beforehand. This is the one I used, but you want to do this yourself because I think later leagues and such, they're gonna the search is gonna be screwed up. So you just put in all the things. I went through one by one, and I put in all the prefixes and count 2, and I put in the suffixes and count 2. Now I left a couple ones out, resistances or suffixes, and I left those out. Accuracy also left out. I don't think those are very valuable. I also left out the attack speed on the suffixes because I don't feel like those rolls are very good, since I can afford to drop so many rolls since it's a varunastra, and there's so many possible jewels that you can get that you might as well drop the bad rolls. So I separated into prefixes and suffixes, and I just get count 2 on both of them. So it would match if there are at least 2 prefixes and at least 2 suffixes. So 4 modifier jewels. And this is what you do. You just go through a list like I show you, jewels one by one, and then you can find the jewels you want. So in my case, I have all these sorts of jewels here, and I can just buy whatever I want. Now normally when you search for 4 modifier jewels, this is not very easy to get unless you're playing some like cheesy thing like I am, where it's varunastra and it counts as all weapon types. Usually it's really hard to find 4 modifier jewels. It will take like weeks or something like that. So that's how you do it. That's how I did it, and hopefully on your future characters you can do the same thing and get the jewels you like. So I showed you the jewels today, I showed you the changes, and I'll keep you updated for the things that I modify in the future, and hope you guys enjoy the video. See you next time.